Let's be honest, there's no guidebook when it comes to relationships. So we end up having to stumble through life trying to figure things out for ourselves. What if there was a podcast that found the answers for you, that provided insight to build a successful relationship and ultimately find the companionship you've always hoped for? Welcome to the Girls Ask Guys show, where we answer the questions most people are afraid to ask when it comes to lessons in life and love. It's time to master this thing called life together with your hosts, John and Ashley.
And welcome back, all you gangsters. Season 3, Episode 3. We are moving with these episodes in Season 3. I'm so excited. Girls Ask Guys show. Of course, it's me and John, and we're here today with your 10-minute Tuesday. And I'm pretty excited because I think it's one of those questions that I love to rip apart.
Yeah, like we said, we are going to be covering the topics and questions that you guys have sent to us in order to figure out, or to kind of point you in the right direction, or give you a straight up answer, because we are not going to pull punches. That's not what we are here for. So I advise, if you don't have tough skin, don't ask the question. Yeah. We're probably not the ones you want to ask, because we're not doing you any favors by sugarcoating it. But we do have a question from one of our listeners. His name is Anthony. Sorry, Anthony, it took us so long to get to you, but we kind of ran into a hurricane problem.
A literal natural disaster.
Yeah.
All right.
It only took 4 months to get my electricity back. But we're here wasting time. Okay, so Anthony, you asked us why girls don't ask guys out. Now, this is a question that we've kind of covered in the past. Can't blame me for missing it because our shows were not indexed. Our new website, they're indexed. You can find it.
All right, Anthony. So let me just give you the quickest answer possible. They do. And that's just the simplest way to put it. I think what you're asking more along the lines of is, why do you always have to be the one to ask a girl out? And why do you have to be the one to assume all the risk?
Yeah. And really that comes from just a social and cultural norm, especially for Western styled company or countries like
companies. Companies is a good word for what we are.
Yeah, the Western styled companies. But for places like the United States and over in England and areas like that, it is not culturally accepted, or hasn't been culturally accepted, for women to ask guys out. They're supposed to be demure. They're supposed to stay back. They're not supposed to let anybody know that they're a sexual creature.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So for them to ask a guy out, that was putting themselves out there. That is changing. It is slowly changing, but it is changing. Girls are stepping up and they're like, okay, I'm tired of waiting. Hey, motherfucker, you want to go out with me or not?
Literally. You know what? This is taking too long. You clearly don't get it. And I think it is, like John said, it's definitely cultural. And it's something that's always been there. Guys take girls out. Guys pay for dates. Guys I think the roles, like you said, I really do think they're changing. I think that girls and guys are now sort of on this level of equality. And I think that men and women are now just kind of like, whoever wants to go out, approach you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those cultural things. And sometimes it's also developing the relationship to the point that they feel comfortable enough to ask you out. Because just like guys, girls have a fear of rejection just as much as guys do. They just don't talk about it as much.
Not allowed to.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like a double-edged sword, where guys have to assume the risk of being rejected. Girls have to rack their brains on whether or not this guy is just flirting with her, if he's into her, or all of these things. Because while you're waiting for someone to ask you out, you're still like,
yeah, it's like, oh my God. I mean, does he like me? I'm not sure if he likes me. Does he like me? Does he just want to get in my pants? Is he looking for a relationship? I mean, what's his deal? I mean, it's all of that stuff's going through their head. And as a guy, when we walk up to girls, we're like, the whole world is watching us. They're waiting to watch to see how badly you are going to crash and burn. Is this going to be good? Is this going to be a good YouTube video? Is it going to go viral? I want to see this. I mean, it's that kind of thing.
What an intense amount of pressure for one person to feel at once. But it's sort of exactly like that. I mean, men might assume the risk, but women, they get just as nervous. And I think like I said, I think it, like you said, it's cultural. I think it's changing. I mean, I know for a fact it's changing, but like, I'm very excited because you see women now in like dating classes. Before it was just like you do what a man says. And, you know, if he asks you out, he asks you out. If you're lucky enough, and I guess that comes down to what we were talking about in the previous episode of like tying your net worth to what, or your not your net worth, your like
Your
internal
self-worth.
worth, to whether or not someone finds you attractive. And now things are changing. Anthony, just be patient. Mrs. Wright will be there. Whether you ask her, she has to ask you. But also, I mean, I think we're now getting to a point where people don't even really ask each other out anymore. They just
It's
hey.
just kind of assumed. It just kind of happens. And that's when you fall into that trap of now you're married and it's 10 years later and you're like, how the fuck did I wind up here?
Yep. How the fuck did I wind up here?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're into a girl, Anthony, and you're just annoyed because it's like, oh, I'm going to be the one to get rejected, maybe just have a casual conversation about it. Like, you don't have to make it this whole entire elaborate thing. When you ask this girl out, you could just be like, hey, you know, I kind of like you.
Yeah.
And if she's like, Anthony, I only see you as a friend, be like, cool, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
or sorry, wrong number.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, it's not really a simple cut and dry answer, other than the cut and dry portion of it is it's a cultural thing. Watch some of those television shows from the 1950s. Oh, girls don't do that. Or read that dumbass book. You don't talk to the guy. You don't call him. And when he does call, it's only 10 minutes long.
I was just about to bring that up. We encountered a book that is by far the most toxic book. And we're talking more toxic than like anything that any dating guru. What's that guy's name?
No, girl's name.
No. I'm talking about the really famous dating book. Like The Secret or something. It's not The Secret.
No, it's not The Secret. You're talking about Speed Seduction?
The Game?
No. Well, The Game was written by Neil, but that was more of a...
Speed Seduction might be it.
But no, I think you're talking about Speed Seduction.
Yeah, hyper toxic. Okay, so this book is even more toxic because not only does it further bullshit narratives about the way people are supposed to date, but it also just like, it's got the stupidest rules in the entire world. Oh, I wish I'd have thought of that before we started recording. I would pull it up. God, what is
No, but I think you're talking about the 36 rules of dating for women, where they guaranteed the husband.
Yes.
And if you want, and if it didn't work for you, where you could sign up for the $400 1-hour phone call.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was comparing it to like the most like toxic book for men. Yeah. It's this exact person. Oh my gosh, this book is so toxic, and it's so annoyingly toxic. And the worst part is that people read this and they're like,
it worked for me.
It worked for me, right? And then like 2 months later, they're fucking divorced because you know why? The whole entire point of dating is to show a little bit of yourself at a time.
And
it
be
is not
authentic. And that was nothing. That was 180 degrees off of authentic.
Yeah, I gotta find these rules. Like I can't not look at this. I kind of want to look at this every day, actually.
Yeah, we have that show. Oh my gosh.
No, I found the person in the book. I just want to see the rules. I don't want to pay for. I'm not buying this book. I'm not giving this woman any money. Like, there's no way I would support this bitch. Like, these are okay. All right, so I think I have most of them here. Don't call him and rarely return his calls. That's one. This is what women are learning, by the way. Like, this is
why our
women don't ask you
is mainly female, because we don't teach this shit.
It's so stupid. Like, don't talk to a man first. So I guess, Anthony, the real answer is there are people like this author out here spreading garbage to women, and women are listening, and that's why they're not asking you out. Also, that's another cultural part of it. Don't open up too fast.
Yeah. Okay, so don't let him know you're interested.
No,
definitely don't tell him. Don't call him. So yeah.
Stop
so
dating
Anthony, if you're getting a bunch of mixed signals, there's your reason.
Stop dating him if he doesn't buy you a romantic gift for your birthday or Valentine's Day. That's dumb.
Yeah. I mean,
guys, there's so many toxic ones.
I changed your oil, but you didn't buy me anything.
You didn't buy me anything on my birthday or Valentine's Day. But I just lost my job. Oh, don't accept the Saturday night date after Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Like, don't stare at men or talk too much. Don't meet him halfway or go Dutch on a date. Like, no, like, this is all so, I would like to dissect all 35. I think we did that.
Yeah, we did that. We did a whole show on it.
They're so terrible. Like, I feel like I could redo that show 10 times because, like, there's so many things wrong with all of these. Let him take the lead isn't a bad one if you're more of a submissive kind of person. So that one's not that bad. Don't tell him what to do. Absolutely bullshit. Sometimes people need direction. Anthony, listen, if this is what women are reading, this is another reason they're not asking you out. I think that's very important, and this book has done pretty well, unfortunately.
It was on the bestseller list for a while.
Bestseller list. So that's what you're up against culturally when it comes to women asking you out. I think most women who are at least in their late 20s are more progressive than this garbage, and are now starting to take things back as they are theirs. But there's also a thing of you can't feel emasculated if a woman does it.
Yeah. And like I said, the way that I approach, I mean, all you have to do is just listen to our last Thursday episode. The way that I approach, I come in very low key, very under the radar. I'm not outcome dependent, so I'm not hoping for anything other than just having a conversation. And I want to get to know them a little bit better before I ask them out. And I want them to actually look at me and go, okay, he's different. He's being authentic. He's not bullshitting me. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going out with him. So sometimes they beat me to the question before I've even made up my mind whether I want to ask them out. They're just like, would you like to hang out later? Okay, sure. It's just building that comfort and building that connection with them to the point that they feel comfortable enough that I'm not going to just like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, right. I mean, that's...
Ew, she asked me out for...
She's got cooties.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's one of the things that you can also do if you want to see if more women will ask you out. You have to build that comfort with them.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, I hope we answered your question as to why girls don't ask guys out.
Yeah, man. We're going to definitely make sure that you hear this episode so that you understand that it's not you, and that you don't have to assume all there is. But guys, don't forget, like, rate, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hug a neighbor, or don't hug a neighbor, keep your distance, wear a mask, and don't be crazy.
Yeah, don't be crazy, don't be creepy. And yeah, definitely share, let everybody know that we're out there and we are back, and we're coming at you with all new, hopefully all new stuff and stuff that you haven't. Force? Yeah. Stuff that you're looking for.
Yes.
If you have a topic, if you have a question, go to our website. There's a form right there. You can fill it out and send it in, and hopefully we will have our new site up relatively soon. A lot of work ahead of me. But
I will help a little bit.
Yeah.
Very little bits, but I will help.
Yeah, she's a proofreader.
That's basically it.
That doesn't make any sense. Fix it.
I hate this. That's very fun. I'm a very critical person.
But there you go. Hopefully we answered your question, or at least pointed you in the right direction so that you can get a little bit more out of your life and hopefully find what you are looking for.
Yep.
And with that, we will talk to you on the next one.
That's all for this episode of the Girls Ask Guys show, where all of us learn to master this thing called life together. For more answers to your questions on life and love, be sure to subscribe to the show so you don't miss a single episode. And head to girlsaskguyshow.com to submit your questions for a future episode or apply to be a guest on the show. Good luck out there, and we'll catch you next time, right here on the Girls Ask Guys show.